Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the channel. Today we're going to talk about what it actually costs to fish the Bassmaster Opens. I did a video about this last year, and some people were talking about that I added in food and different stuff, and I actually did it um, based on the best central location, so pretty much the least that you would pay gas-wise to fish them. And I changed up a few things this year. I actually left out food, which it's actually not that much of an expense anyway, but I left it out so that that wasn't added in there because I do personally know that generally when you're on the road it costs a little bit more, but we just left it out of the equation. Doesn't really matter. It's like the least of the expenses that you're going to experience if you go fish the open, so I don't really care. This time we are actually doing it based on if I were to fish the open. So how much more realistic can that be? I based all of the mileage, all of the gas, everything based on if I left for my house, went and fished all 9 opens, what it would cost me to fish them. Now, some people are going to live, if you live out in California, the prices are going to be nuts. I mean, you're going to have way, way higher prices of everything. You might as well just move over for the year while you're fishing them. But we're going to start going through all this stuff here. I actually added in a few things though that I think are really interesting. So this is definitely what it would cost the working man to fish them. The people out there that have good sponsorships, maybe a bunch of family money, stuff like that, this might not matter as much obviously, but to a person that is paying for it all by themselves, these are the numbers that it's going to cost you. So we're going to start out here, fishing all 9 opens. How many miles are you going to drive? How many miles are you going to put on your truck? For me, I would be putting, and this again is just getting to the lake and getting home. I wasn't going to add in also the gas price of driving to the ramp or not, or how far that might be. I know when I stayed at the Red River last year, the closest place that I found was 28 minutes away, I think is what it was, to be exact. But around 30 minutes away because all of the spots right there at the ramp were gone. So perfect scenario, you stay at the ramp that you're going to practice out of and you don't have to drive around all the time. But I left that out because maybe somebody's fortunate enough to do that. But you are going to have those tournaments where all those spots are going to get rented out that are right there at the ramp, and then your closest next option is what you got to deal with, or if you're driving around the lake. So again, these are the best numbers that you're going to get. If you think that I'm adding in some like weird stuff, I've left out a lot of things that are going to cost you a lot of money. But 11,222 miles is what you will put on, or what I would put on my truck, just driving to and from. So that's all I'm pulling these gas prices from. I went with $3 a gallon. I believe that was what I went with. It was medium low number, which if you go up north, you're going to experience higher gas prices. When you're down south, they're going to be a little bit cheaper generally. And that fluctuates year to year. But that's been about good day what we're paying, but a lot of people are paying more. But just in truck gas, for me to get to and from the 9 tournaments, it would be $2,404 for me to get to and from the lake. Nothing else. So $2,500 in, you're just driving to the lake and back. 9 tournaments. So next up, obvious expense, $18,000 to enter them. That's 9 tournaments. So you can divide that down pretty easy. You're paying $2,000 a tournament just to compete. Tackle. This is actually a really low number compared to how much tackle you actually need to fish these things. Most people that are going out and fishing the opens, you've got all the generals covered. This is the specialty stuff that you're going to get, which it can fluctuate. If you want to go crazy, a lot of people fall into this. And I've fallen into it a whole bunch of times. You have all these things in your head that you want to get, these off the wall stuff, so you end up going in this tackle store and spending $400 on tackle that you don't even use in the tournament. But this is way low. You're always going to spend more than this, but this is best case scenario. You crazy person out there that can somehow not buy a lot of tackle on top of what you already have for these things. Tackle $1,350 is what I came up with. and that's, I want to say, what is that? 100. I think I did $150 a tournament. Um, if somehow you can fish each tournament just adding $150 in tackle on, you are a miracle worker. But somebody out there is going to say they can do it. So next is the way I would do it. If you aren't staying at campsites, you're going to spend a ton of money. I did campsites for your place that you're going to stay. If you're not camping at these things, if you don't have some type of truck camper or something, this price is going to go way up. But you're going to spend. I got $2,430. So that is $30 a night to stay at these campsites, which is, again, that's low. There's a lot of places now that are charging $50 a night. If you stay at most of your basic state-run campgrounds, you're going to spend $30 a night to stay at these things, and that is counting practice and tournament. If you're entering the opens, I'm just assuming that you're gonna use all of your practice days that they allow. Some people will go there 2 days before the tournament or something, and gamble that way. But generally, if you're paying $2,000 to enter a tournament and it's as important as the opens are, you're going to show up for all practice. And then that brings us to the end of that list over here. So now we're going to go over to boat gas. So like I said, we've got they do allow 5 days of practice for the opens. So that brings us to 45 total practice days, 18 tournament days. So we are looking at boat gas. If premium, I did $3.75 a gallon. It's more expensive than that in a lot of places. It's rarely cheaper than that. So if you can, if gas prices go down, this number will fluctuate a little bit. But I did $20 a day. Now, there are those people out there that are dedicated to practicing close to the ramp and won't burn 20 gallons a day. I like to see a lot of the lake. I most times will burn more than that, but I try to burn as little as possible. But when you have what skews that number, why I went with 20 gallons, is because you will have plenty of those days where you end up burning a tank or more than a tank. Like you go to a tournament that you have to get gas part of the day where you've got a long run or something like that. That's going to throw that number way off. So we're burning 900 gallons just in practice, and that is $3,375 for boat fuel for practice. And then tournament days, assuming that you only are fishing 2 days, I didn't do this. These are 3-day tournaments. Top 10 makes the third day. I am assuming that you're going to be making some money. If you are making a little bit of money, some of your money back if you make the third day and you make the top 10. So I just did this based off of 2 days worth of tournament gas, just to kind of keep it consistent, because you will occasionally make a third day and win some money there, more than the $3,000 or whatever that you win for most of the places through the top 40. So you're looking at $1,350 in boat gas, burning 20 gallons a day for 18 days. To give you guys where I'm getting these numbers from, 18 days times that gas number and 20 gallons a day is $1,350. Now, I'm going to dig into a different part after I tell you these kind of totals. So that totals out to $28,909 to fish the opens. That's just the bare pricing. That's not, boat, all the insurance, everything, which you're just going to have all that stuff. If you're that serious about fishing, you're going to have all that stuff, whether you're fishing the opens or not. I'm not selling my bass boat or not insuring my bass boat just because I'm not fishing the opens. I'm going to have all that stuff. So just base pricing of tackle, campsites, entry fees, trucks, gas, and boat gas, you're at $28,909. That's pretty penny to fish 9 tournaments, but that's what you're looking at. These are all over the country. Kind of big stakes go along with it, but like I said, these are for the working man numbers. So I added in a portion to this. This is the work, I guess, that you missed. Because if you fish 9 tournaments, I'm going to add these days together. You are driving a minimum of 18 days to fish these. Day to and from. Like you're every tournament for me is at least going to be like a 5-hour drive to 9 to 20. I think the one down in Okeechobee for me would be, I wanted to say it was over 20 hours. So minimum, if you're a pro driver, you're spending 18 travel days a year. Then 18 tournament days minimum. 18 tournament days. If you make a lot of day threes, it's going to go up just a little bit, but you're winning a little bit of money in the tournaments then. So minimum 18 tournament days, and then also 45 practice days. What that total comes out to in 1 year of fishing the opens, you will spend 81 days just fishing or driving. So for the working man, that's a lot of missed work, and unless you got a whole bunch of vacation days to burn, which I doubt you're going to be able to burn 81 of them in a year, and keep your job, you're missing a lot of work. So what I did is based on $30 an hour. If you're making $30 an hour, don't go fish the opens. That you probably need to be getting paid more than that. But for this day and age, for the average working guy that's got an adult job, $30 an hour is, I feel like you got to have some dedication if you're got a $30 an hour job and you're spending $28,000 on tournaments and have a bass boat and a truck that's reliable and could have put 11,000 miles on your truck in 1 year and take 81 days off work. You probably don't have a family or a wife that's going to stick around if you're making $30 an hour and doing that. But not to hurt anybody's feelings there that thought that was enough, but it wouldn't be. That would be $19,440 of missed wages in a year also. So 81 days of your year spent are just on the tournaments. You're missing almost $20,000 in wages. That's before taxes, again. But total. So that's what I wanted to bring the real total to. That it would be almost $50,000 that technically you would be spending and missing out on, because that brings it to $48,349 if you add that in. And that's what I mean. This is for the real working man. This guy, the guys that really affects are the guys that are trying to hold down a job and do it. And that's why a lot of people, there's these people that are saying that the working man isn't out of it. He's kind of out of it. If you got to fish all 9, the on paper working man is they can't make that happen. I don't know without. So you got to have sponsorships. If you're thinking of fishing the opens in the future, you better have some sponsors, or just it's not sustainable if you don't. I guess you can have a one-shot year without sponsors, and if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Enjoy your time, and hopefully you got a job to come back to and it's done. But I mean, you better have something going on that's bringing in some extra money and a lot of time on your hands. So that's the basis. If you're one of the people that says that the working man isn't necessarily out of it, I'm going to tell you that the scenario that they used to have where it was 3 divisions, you just had to win a 3-tournament division, way easier for the working man to make that happen in a year. You can cut all those prices by a third, the time off work by a third, and that's manageable. But that's not. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope that was some good information for you. You enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.